welcome everyone. Well, we kind of started right in the middle of an ad. That was bad planning. It was supposed to run before, while we were waiting, but it didn't. I poorly planned that. Sorry. Okay. So we gotta wait another minute because how's everyone's week go? I'm sore. I hurt my leg. Just my left leg. I don't even know how. It's like, all right. We're good though. We're good. Let's see. Things are looking good. Nice. Okay. So we got a couple interesting topics. If you're not one of the people currently encapsulated in an ad, engrossed in an ad, maybe is a better word. We got a couple interesting things going on. We have two topics of security that we're going to go over first. A new type of phishing attack that attacks a device code phishing, which was pretty interesting. I was going to cover that really quickly with you all. And then another way that you can make your projects just a little bit more secure in GitHub Actions. Or in GitHubs. GitHub. Yeah, anyways. In the GitHubs. All right. Let's dive into it. Welcome, everybody, to the news. The year is 2025. And hackers steal emails in device code phishing. This attack was really cool, and I wanted to dig into how it went down. So, one, this hack took time and effort. There was quite a bit of becoming trusted by the person. So again, don't trust people you don't know. And it basically ended in them giving a link to a Teams meetup, and when the person got that link, it would require them to do a device registration, which they would then give them the key for, and they would generate that key for them, and basically hack their account, because basically they're just registering that device, and that's how they're getting around it. So really, this is more of a phishing attack than it is in anything else. Microsoft's take on this is to just disable the ability for devices. So this is a lot of times things like TVs where you don't want to like type in the password or whatnot, that use this device authentication code. So anyways, that's generally where we're seeing this, and that's the attack that was leveraged. So the easy solution, don't allow that. There you go. Now, if you're looking for another easy solution to make your project more secure, whether you're an open source project or a big corporation, that could be Dependabot and GitHub secret scanning. They can now detect base64 encoded GitHub tokens. Now, unfortunately, this isn't all tokens. They do work with a lot of tokens to be able to detect tokens. But previously, they haven't been able to detect if you base64 encoded your tokens. Now they can, whether it's a PAT or OAuth access token, user server token, or server to server tokens, any of these GitHub tokens can now be detected if they're base64 encoded, which is pretty awesome as it goes. As it is. So if you haven't done this yet, this is a great way to just stop training AI on your secrets. If you'd like AI to stop Look, AI is like that. That it's not a meme. It's not really a saying, but like, when you're asking somebody to stop and they're just like, I'm wanting you to stop. So AI doesn't want to train on your secrets. Stop checking them in, and GitHub can help you with that. So, anyways, go enable that. You're gonna need to switch to base 96 for all your secrets now. That was not the takeaway. That was not the takeaway. That was not meant to be the takeaway for that. That was all that I saw really interesting. There was obviously another Fortinet security vulnerability. Their stocks have been going up, so I guess security vulnerabilities is the way to go with that. I'm not really looking to like cover every single thing, just things that hopefully will help you guys become more secure. And those were the two things that I saw on that. Was there anything else in security that you guys saw? Yeah, Fortinet is one a week in the last 3 weeks. Let's go for a full month. There goes my hope of ever being hired by them. I think the look, it's probably not nearly as bad as it seems. Like their whole thing is a security product, and the fact is they patch them usually before they're released to the public. But it does feel kind of bad, in my opinion. It does feel kind of bad. Breach month. They need to start using Rust. All right. So we had the Linux kernel drama 2 weeks ago, and I gave you guys an update on that. But now we have a new little bit of drama, maybe a little less polarizing here, but it was a very interesting topic in my opinion, because we're going to cover open source, and we have a few open source projects now. But what I wanted to talk about first is that Fedora was threatened with legal action from the OBS Studio project. So OBS Studio is what I use to stream, and a lot of people use to stream. It's an open source project that allows that. And they actually threatened legal action to the Fedora project, which is very interesting. Why would these two open source teams and groups be at each other's throat? Well, it's a little bit of a long story, and this is my lunch hour, so I don't have all the time to cover every detail. But what happens was that basically the official Fedora package, which was just a repackage of the already existing Flatpak, was just broken. It was just basically a worse repackaging of the Flatpak that OBS Studio already does. And it was always broken. So OBS initially just asked for them to remove it because they already provide a Flatpak and it didn't need one, because the unofficial OBS Studio Flatpak on Fedora Flatpaks is seemingly poorly packaged and broken, leading to our users complaining upstream, thinking they are being served the official package. And really all they wanted was to be served the official Flatpak package. We would request that this package is either removed or made clear that it is a third-party package. That's really all that they wanted to do, because there was just a lot of confusion as to who used it. It should not be the upstream's responsibility to ensure downstream packages are working, especially when they're overwriting official packages. So when they say official packages, they're talking about the OBS Studio team makes official Flatpak packages that work. And this is what. Now, a lot happened. There was a lot of discussion, and we're not going to go through the whole discussion, but Fedora basically didn't have any. I guess they got really frustrated at some point in that conversation, and basically they made a formal request, basically a cease and desist of using OBS Studio, because they considered it a hostile fork. and that worked. That worked. So there you go. Send a formal cease and desist. It works. I'm getting destroyed here by something. I'm sorry. Something is in my slipper, and that was hurting. Of course, I can't find it. It's okay. I'll go with cold foot. All right. My apologies. I got a little sidetracked. Yeah. So, anyways, then that's it. Hopefully, Fedora will have a working Flatpak for OBS soon. What do you guys think of Flatpaks, by the way? What are your opinions on Flatpaks versus Snap versus just good old packages the old-fashioned way like Arch? Moving on into open source. It's a brand new world out there with a brand new project just released 2 days ago under the GPL 3.0 license. This is a project that should level up your security. They say, this is their words, not mine. Think of it as Linux counterpart to Sysmon on Windows. The only problem I have with this comparison right here is what the crap is Sysmon. That's kind of, like my initial take on that. It doesn't really help me, but it is actually seemingly a pretty cool project if you're worried about security monitoring and threat hunting on Linux systems. So it's looking to basically leverage eBPF to capture. Well, yeah. Anyways, let's see. Kernel level probes that capture critical events. So, anyways, it's there. It's meant to run there as like a way for you to probe your system, understand what's going on, and get feedback on that. So it can be another tool leveraged to understand a system. So if you're trying to look for vulnerabilities in your system, this might be a pretty good one to use. It could be used by hackers too. I realize that, but Moving on in open source, there is a 8.1 release candidate by Valkey, and the only reason I'm pulling this up, it's not like a major release or anything, but it looked to do a lot of better performance. So if you're having performance issues with Valkey 8, there seems to be a string of performance improvements on here. Now, this last one, I have to give a little addendum before we cover it. I do happen to work for the company that I'm going to cover the piece of news on. It is in open source because we are what I would consider an open core technology, and it's in that open core that this happened. But I also want to let you guys know, I'm obviously biased because this is the company I work for. Nobody at the company has asked me to say anything, even brought it up, or anything like that. I'm bringing it up because it's actually really cool and is maybe one of the biggest step forwards in NoSQL databases that for a long time. And I'm actually being serious on that. This is actually really cool, in my opinion. Let's move on. Yeah, we're getting some aerospace news, okay? So some hot off the top press aerospace news. We're going to the moon, people. We're going to the moon. All right. First off, if you have to do cookies and you have to do a cookie banner, this is how you should do it. Right here. You shouldn't have a click thing to like a big button that says accept and then a little button that says edit that takes you to another thing. You should just be able to click the reject all button right there. That is a company that does it right, okay? Obviously, I'm super biased. But, all right, Aerospike 8 adds distributed ACID transactions for developers. Now, ACID is, we can go into exactly what ACID stands for. I actually think that Martin Klapman in his book, what was the name of his book? I love his book. That's like one of my favorite books. Designing data-intensive applications. I have a box of books because I haven't gotten my shelf in here yet. anyways, one of my favorite books describes exactly what's ACID and some of the terminology that's slung around about databases. I really like to go cut straight through all that and talk about linearizable reads. But for today, we're going to keep it at a high level. Distributed ACID transactions in NoSQL databases is a pretty big deal. It's actually something a lot of the times people give up these ACID transactions for the scale and availability that NoSQL can give. And now you don't necessarily have to give all that up. Now, if you're confused about what like a multi-record transaction would be, there's actually a pretty good example of what multiple operations might be. One thing that I really, really, really love here is the talk about denormalization, because sometimes denormalization and normalization are thrown around quite flippantly without understanding how you denormalize and that you have to normalize before you can denormalize and what the effect it is on your database. Because when you denormalize, actually having an ACID database becomes a really important thing to do. So anyways, that came out. It's actually really, really, really cool. I'm not going to cover much more about it unless you guys want to know more about it, but it actually opens up a lot of transactional things that you can do at scale. So think banking. This is like a overly abused example, but it's a really good example is things like banking. So yeah. Pretty cool. Was there anything else in open source that I should have known, should have seen, should have gotten? I asked ChatGPT and they didn't even get half of the stuff that I found. So there you go. Did I miss anything? Anyways, I think actually that's probably one of the biggest, coolest releases of a database product recently. A lot of the times you get those ACID transactions with a non-distributed, like think your Postgres and things like that. So DeepSeek are about to open source a lot of their stuff. I have not covered that because they haven't done anything yet. At least as of last night when I prepared this whole thing, they hadn't open sourced anything. Let me check really quickly. Yeah. We'll cover this. But it's still standing as it is. We'll see. We'll hold them accountable to it. Next week, we'll see if they've done what they're doing. There's a new style of coding in town, and if you guys aren't on it, you're not vibing with us. Now, I've been practicing this style of coding on stream for like the last year. Now, I feel bad that I didn't actually come up with this, but vibe coding, it's a thing. I saw this article and I was like, this is stupid. Nobody actually does this. But it's actually, I found the guy that actually coined it. A new thing called vibe coding, where you fully give in to the vibes and forget the code even exists. I forget the code even exists all the time. Maybe I haven't fully given into the vibes. I do like that there's a preface. It's not too bad for throwaway weekend projects, but still quite amusing. I get it. I tried Bolt. Bolt has major issues. I should do a product review of Bolt. It has some things that it needs to fix. which is like the pinnacle of vibe coding. On the mention of vibe coding, JetBrains is actually releasing their new product and letting you select the, I didn't realize this, they're letting you select the AI you want to use. Really cool. They're also adding local support so that you can run something locally and leverage that. We were actually doing that ourselves using Olama and Zen, the Zen coding Zed, not Zen, Zed, the Zed coding browser, Zed ID, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. It was pretty cool, but it was also kind of slow. I'm excited to see if this is a little bit better. See if what they've done to make it a little bit better. While we're talking about JetBrains, this isn't AI specifically, but I didn't have another place to put this, so it's getting put here. They're working. The demand for better KMP tools are apparently increasing, especially after Google's support on KMP on Android. Therefore, JetBrains plans to discontinue the development of a standalone KMP IDE. Thank you, JetBrains. We do not need yet another IDE that's basically just a plugin to your already based platform. This is annoying the crap out of me. And thank you for just bringing that to the IntelliJ platform. The world thanks you. And lastly, starting next week, DeepSeek will open source 5 repos. We'll see if they'll open source 5 repos. And you know what will be more interesting? I'm sure they'll open source 5 repos. I could pick 5 repos that would effectively do nothing. It will be what they're open sourcing. And we'll see. Like, this itself has very little weight. So we'll see. We'll see. Is it amazing? Or is it a nothing burger? I'm guessing it'll be somewhere in between. It feels like vibe coding was embraced by Fortinet a year or two ago. Oh gosh, that hurts. Should we try tomorrow to purely vibe with the Java? Because tomorrow in the kerflop is Java. Would you guys like to try to purely vibe on it? We could try it as a pure vibe stream. All right, you guys have convinced me. All right, one last piece of AI news. Maybe limit it to 30-minute session first. Okay, that's fair. We'll vibe for 30 minutes, and then we'll see if we need to approach it with, some other approach. We'll see how we're vibing. It might be a me issue. The last bit of AI news that came out was I saw this. Just saw this job posting, but it was unusual. Please apply only if you're an AI agent. If you create an AI agent, they can fill this job post. So there was this Firecrawl posted a thing for hiring a $10,000 to $15,000 a year agent. Now, I dug into it because this seemed a little silly. And it kind of was a publicity stunt for Firecrawl themselves. I found out that they were looking, interestingly enough, the true plan was, and I guess still is, to actually give the human who built the best agent a full-time job. And that the $10,000 to $15,000 salary will be rolled into the salary of the person they hired. Now, supposedly this hasn't worked out. I guess there was 50 agents that applied for the ad, but none impressed enough to get an offer. This is kind of every single time I've been presented with an AI agent, it just hasn't been impressive enough. It's impressive, the things that they do, but not enough to pay $20,000 a year for it. That's been my experience so far. All right. That was it. Now we're on to cloud news. We've got some real news here. There's some news that I missed in Azure. I feel bad about. And yeah, so we're going to start with that. I know. I love those best viewers. Those people get me. Like, they've at least paid attention to the stream and don't just offer cheap viewers. They actually get me. All right. I'm sorry, Azure. I missed this. This happened February 19th. Like 5 days late. Introducing Azure AI Foundry Labs, a hub for the latest AI research and experiments at Microsoft. So I feel like this is coming from a place where Azure's kind of feeling the strain of its relationship with maybe an Altman. I don't know. Today we're launching AI Foundry Labs, a hub for developers, startup, and enterprise to explore groundbreaking innovations from research at Microsoft. So I guess the idea here is that this is a place where you can try AI stuff quickly and easily. I don't know. I haven't used it yet myself. So I don't know. But I'm going to actually give it a shot in the future to see exactly what it's doing. There is a YouTube video from them. So yeah, we'll see. Moving on, Azure AI Agent Service is now in public preview for developers in the AI Foundry. So I was looking for like exactly what's in this because there's a lot of marketing stuff in here. And so there's like an AI agent framework for you to leverage and use in there to have AI agents do stuff for you. So it'd be interesting to see that at work. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to pronounce it. The first quantum processor powered by topological qubits. So they made another quantum processor. Hopefully it's a leap. I'm a little skeptical because both Microsoft and Google have been having huge breakthroughs that haven't led to the end goal, which is I'm going to say desktop, but I'll take server rack sized words just completely fled me. Quantum machine. There we go. The word was quantum that I was looking for. So there's been a lot of promise, there's been a lot of hype, there's been a lot of work, and each breakthrough feels really big. And I'm like tentatively really, really excited about this because they were able to achieve it with fewer than expected error rates, but maybe not quite usable yet at this point. But it does seem like it's paving a good path to a quantum reality. Now, will it be this year? I doubt it will be this year. I do think for AI to get better than it is right now, it almost needs a quantum processor. So I honestly think that AI to take off really is waiting on this quantum processor. That's just me, but I could be right. I could be wrong. It's a 50-50 chance, really. But yeah, this is cool. And they actually do a really good job. It's a really good article. You should go read it. I'll give it to you all. There you go. So yeah, there you go. It's quantum. It's on its way. They can make it rack mounted as long as 0 degree Kelvin. The 0 degree Kelvin and 0 degree Arachnine is the same thing. It could be 0 degree in either. There you go. Yeah, the radiation noise, I think, is like the bigger thing. Like the temperature, it didn't need to be 0 degree Kelvin. It did have to be cold. It did have to be cold, which is why I said rack mounted, because you can't be that cold in a rack mounted thing. I think the radiation noise is the biggest problem that I saw going through that. And when I say radiation, I mean like if a phone was in the room, it became useless. That type of radiation. I don't mean like, oh, it needs to be, plutonium 256, I probably just got demonetized for mentioning an element, but it doesn't need to be that type of radio protected. It's literally like this. For reasons. Touche. It will work with 0 degree mankind for reasons. Fantastic. Okay. Azure had 2 updates other than those that I thought were interesting. If you guys would like to see, by the way, for things like AI Foundry, if you'd like me to make a stream on those, let me know. We can make a stream of exploring AI Foundry. I'd be happy to. All right. So there's the public preview of the Azure Container Storage on Managed Prometheus. So if you're running on the Azure Container Storage, or if you're running Prometheus, you can now run that on Azure Container Storage, which is like their their storage pools in Kubernetes, in their managed Kubernetes offering. So that's pretty cool. It should, my understanding is it should make managed or your managed Prometheus a little bit easier to be automatically ingesting your metrics and saving them into these stores. So it should make your life easier and manage Prometheus with this storage easier. So if you're big on Azure Container Storage, it looks cool. The other thing was this Azure migrate support for premium SSD disks. I don't know if it's a big deal. If you're looking for this, it's great, but that's not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. You can get around it pretty easily too. It's like a pretty common problem to do that manual migration yourself. I saw this. I know that I had reported on it last year, and I was like, you know what? I should bring it up again. So in GCP, they are going to require multi-factor authentication. Now, this is not multi-channel multi-factor authentication. This is just multi-factor authentication. And so these are the phases that Google is implementing. So the 3 of you that are using it, go ahead and make sure that you have multi-factor authentication set up. Again, it's not multi-channel. You don't need a YubiKey, but you do need multi-factor authentication by the end of 2025 for all users. So I thought I would bring that up just as a FYI. What was this? Oh, that was just giving me. I need to get going, so I'm not gonna make that joke. That was a joke. All right, Amazon is playing the long game on AI. We'll see if that pans out for them. But do you know what Amazon also did? I need to show you this map. This map is of a city called Louisville. I used to live in Louisville just a month prior to this, and a lot has happened in this poor little city. I migrated to here, to here. I'll just say Columbus. I don't actually live in Columbus. I'll just say Columbus. I moved to Columbus, which is in a different state, and this has devastated the Louisville area. This has absolutely devastated the Louisville area. First, we get KFC, or Yum Brands, is moving out. So only a month after me leaving a state. It's already had huge repercussions. This is why, if Ohio's paying attention, they should start paying me a stipend to stay here. But on top of this, you were like, how does this relate to software engineering and computer science and whatnot? Don't worry. I've got you guys. Amazon is investing another $10 billion in Ohio-based data centers after I move. Like me moving tidal waves across the industry. Are you paying attention, Ohio? I want you to be paying attention because I'm worth it. I'm worth it. Moving on from the joke, AWS now accepts payments in 8 new local currencies, which is cool if you're looking for these local currencies. Maybe more important is this is probably the most interesting thing that I saw from AWS is reshape your AWS CloudFormation stacks seamlessly with Stack Refactoring. Now, most people don't use CloudFormation because reasons, but if you do, this is actually a pretty cool feature, and I would like to see more work done in this type of feature. Basically, I had to dig into it to really understand it and look at their examples, and it's not magic by any means, but their example here is basically, you know, as you grow and whatnot, refactoring this can be painful because refactoring this resource with like its ID and whatnot can be difficult to make sure that it doesn't get deleted, or you have to do some sort of migration plan or something like that, when all you really wanted to do was refactor how you organize your CloudFormation templates. And what this allows you to do is basically pull those things out, so pull into their own YAML files, and then create a resource mapping that map those together for you to allow you to basically do this one-time refactor and clean up your code. I actually think that this is a pretty cool feature. It took a little while to understand. It's not magic. It's not AI powered. It doesn't have any of the, you know, things you expect in this day and age, but there you go. If you use CloudFormation, how many of you guys use CloudFormation? Raise your hands. I'm looking. Okay, so nobody uses CloudFormation. I get it. I don't use it either. So unfortunately for me, I have to be multi-cloud. Do you know what the dumbest part of Terraform is? It's multi-cloud, but you still have to maintain 2 stacks. It's the dumbest thing. I hate it. I hate the clouds. They were supposed to be our savior. I just see the meme, the Anakin meme. All right. I want to thank you all. That was it for me on the news. Did I miss any big announcements, any big news? I tried to hit those open source projects. I actually really am. I'm doing some more security stuff. I'm actually going to do a hacking day where we do hack the box. So I'm actually really interested in testing this out right here. And just seeing what it sees on my system and whatnot, giving it a try. It seems pretty cool. It's also written in Rust, so that means it's awesome. Tomorrow, if you're all interested, we are writing Java. Enterprise grade Java, pure vibing for the first 30 minutes. We'll see how the vibe goes. As part of our kerflop thing. So I got to check in with if we have some time afterwards, because it's actually a really, really small task that we have to do in Java. It will take some time, though, because we're making it enterprise grade. I want to switch over to Anathema. I was caught saying some horrible things last week about Anathema, and so I need to circle back on those. Maybe we got to give it a second shot. I know my fans have been upset. Will the first thing be there's going to be so many factories, it's not even funny. Vibe Factory might be one of them. Funniest part is I misspelled vibe. I forgot the E. The first times I was spelling it. That was rough. That was rough. I embarrassed myself. All right. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. We're gonna start out by doing some enterprise grade Java. We'll switch to some Rust because, like I said, I want to start working on Anathema because we need to do our Twitch alerts better, and we're kind of refactoring that whole project. So we'll do some of that at the end, just for, I was gonna say kicks and giggles, but I need to be doing some Rust. I've probably forgotten more Rust than I've learned Rust. So I got to do some because it's been killing me. So we'll do that. I actually have, as soon as this is all done. Oh, okay, one second. Real question for all of you. You are probably some of my most loyal viewers that are there. I've been having this. So I'm almost done with my next database episode. And I'm at this conundrum, and I keep thinking, like, I keep telling myself, I'm just going to go with it. And then I'm like, oh, is that really the right way to go? I don't know. I have fun videos that are just make fun of the industry, basically. Which are just meant to be fun. They're not making fun of any one person, just our industry. And then I have my educational videos. Do you think they should go on the same channel, or do you think they should be a separate channel? That's my question. You don't have to answer. Leave me a comment in Discord. I've been thinking about it, and I just don't know. I keep saying I'm just going to do it all in the same channel because, shoot, seems like too much work. And then I'm like, they're really different content. Like, they're really geared towards different groups of people. I don't know. Keep them in the same. That's like what I keep wanting to go with. So if that works for you guys, that's what I'll do, because that would be easy. I just didn't know if it would make people like, oh, this guy does these educational things and then he does a funny video and that's what I wanted to see. You know, I don't know. I do have a playlist. So like I have an honest ad playlist where the honest ads go in. Those are really the funny ones. And then like I have a database playlist, and so I try to keep those playlists up to date with them. The weird thing with playlists is you can't subscribe to a playlist. I think this is a feature YouTube needs, is I'd like to subscribe to a playlist, so when a playlist gets a new video, I hear about it. That's actually like something that annoys me, because that would solve all of this. Where I could make different types of videos and just put them in the playlist, and then you could subscribe to the playlist that you wanted to see. But the problem is, if you subscribe to my channel, you get all my videos, regardless of what playlist they go into. That's kind of the annoying part that I have. Boy, it's good to see you. Or X. Anyways, I'll just keep posting them all on the same channel. I haven't posted for a while. I have a couple in the works, though. So we should be getting at least one video a month. Starting March. So, at least. All right, well, that's it for my lunch break. It was only 40 minutes, 47 minutes. Fantastic. Ended a little early. It was fantastic seeing you all. Sorry, Boy X, I am just leaving. That was the news. You can go watch the VOD on YouTube. It's there. It's also on Twitch for a little bit of time. I think it's like 7 days, 7 to 14 days. But all the VODs are saved on YouTube. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to get going. I have a lot of work to do. Got videos to make. We'll keep them all on the same channel. I will put them in their own playlists. We'll see how that goes. If we need to make a change, we'll make a change in the future. That's a 2026 problem, not a 2025 Merrick problem. All right. Thanks, everybody. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have yourselves a fantastic day, and hope you have a fantastic weekend as well. Next week, maybe the news sponsored by the state of Ohio. That's what I was trying. I was trying to get that sponsorship. We'll see if the state of Ohio would like to throw some taxpayer money here. I'm happy to take it, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, see you guys next week or on the weekend. But have a fantastic weekend and week if I don't see you in the interim. All right, bye.